we'll have a mic. We'll have a microphone. All right. Ruben Garcia.
I've been volunteering for the Fairgrounds. I've been here to
East Bay.
East Bay. I want to.
I can't make out anything that's being said.
It's hard for me too. I need permission to record.
It's being recorded right now.
Yeah, JR is recording it. It's just we can't hear it in live.
Recorded? All right. Yeah.
I'm Deputy Wife, Kathy Murray, and
Sandra, how can I get a hold of you?
You talking about Sandra White?
If you guys could use the chat box for your
Sandra, you should put your contact info in the chat.
And go on to mute, and then we'll ask you to introduce yourself as we get to the online.
JR, we can't hear you guys at all.
You hear us at all?
No.
I mean, we can hear you barely, but everyone else, we can't kind of follow what's going on.
That's all right for right now. And we're working through it. So we're working through it. Go ahead. Try it.
coordinator for wellness for chiropractors. Co-coordinator also for wellness.
Well, we're United States Air Force and
Well, J.R. Wilson, the director.
Pat Jeremy, Vice President, and Gopher.
No much. Nah.
Hi everyone, my name is Shruva, born and raised in Antioch, youthful coordinator on the United States. To meet everyone and see what I can do to help clean up the street.
Is that better for our online people?
No,
If everybody online can mute themselves, that might help as well. Okay, go ahead.
we were muted. We couldn't hear nothing.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, we already getting around. All right, good. We already did our introductions now.
My name is Megan. I'm research of Park District. I'm one of the rec coordinators that helped with the fishing event last year and hopefully this year. I'm supporting.
All right, for our next meeting, we'll have a microphone. We just gotta work that out. We'll have a microphone for that. There's a teenager, yes, run around with a microphone. But thank you for your patience, working with us on trying to make it a virtual and in-person meetings. So thank you very much. Some of the announcements, the coordinators have already known this, but we are opening our services to the general public on Saturday of the event. That is September 9th. That means that do not have to be a veteran to get services at Stand Down on Delta on Saturday, September 9th. That is because veterans, we served our country and now we serve our community. That is the theme or the mantra for Stand Down on Delta 2023. The purpose is to get our veterans help with housing, education, health, and employment to get a firm foundation. The sole purpose of Stand Down was to do that and then also to launch them into the stratosphere to serve their community. And in 2023, they're going to show that platform on Saturday. Veterans will arrive on Friday, get all of their normal clothing and different things like that on Friday, and begin to get their services on Friday, which would just be for veterans. And then on Saturday, from around, we haven't really worked out the time. It's either going to be 8 or 9 o'clock start time. And then that will end at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then all civilians, besides volunteers, will be ushered out. And then the event will be turned back over solely to veterans. And we'll have the bonfires, the movie nights, and everything like that that we normally do. But on Saturday is going to be, the whole purpose is to show veterans, you serve our country, you serve our community. Ruben. Absolutely awesome. And that's another part of it, because guess what? We're serving our community. So they're going to be able to do that as well, right? So those trailer ones are going to be outside of the men's encampment, outside of that, in a separate area on Saturday. Very good. Let's get breakfast. Everybody okay with that? Everybody understand the purpose of that and why we're going to be doing that? So again, if you're out talking about stand down on a Delta, then we want that to be put out there. Veterans serve their country, now they're serving their community. Right? And how we're going to make it possible for them to be able to do that. You know, when we're out serving, we're the volunteers, right? And we get it. We understand that service before oneself is actually a rewarding thing. It gives us purpose, gives us a mission, right? It focuses us on service and serving others, and through that we get blessed. So that's what we want to show our veterans, is that service for oneself is truly a blessing. And when we can get them to that area, to that point, with housing, education, health, and employment, and they have that firm foundation, then we want them to come back and serve as volunteers at our events that we do. Right? That's the purpose of it. They served their country, had that camaraderie, felt the purpose. Sometimes when you get out of the military, you sort of lose that purpose. If you have mental health issues, this gives you something to focus on. Service before oneself gives you that ability to focus in on other people and to serve them. But we got to be secure and have a firm foundation before we can do that. So Stand Down and Delta gives them that firm foundation, but we also want them to know that the purpose of this is to launch you into the stratosphere for service before oneself. All right. So we're super duper excited about that and being able to have the ability to be able to do that, because we are blessed. We are blessed. When we started Stand Down in 2015, that was crazy. I look around the room, I see people that were here, you know, in 2015. That was crazy, unorganized, insane, sanity, success. That's kind of how it went. Insanity, craziness, and success. It is because we were blessed and nobody had any alternative motives. It was all about servicing veterans and serving our community. And that's what we want to show them. I know Bill never idle. He worked his tail off that 2015. And Mary did too. But never have I ever saw a man in his late 60s. Now he's in his middle 70s. I know he doesn't look like him. But that man worked his tail off, putting up. We built the tents that they were going to live in, people were going to live in. The fire marshal said they were too small. So we had to add on to those, which took a long time, which meant veterans were coming in as we were building the tents to put them in. How many complaints did we get from veterans? None. Absolutely none. And that was the success. That was the success, because no matter how crazy and insane it looked, these veterans knew what we were there for, and they got it, right? And some of them didn't even have walls on the tent that they slept in. And quite honestly, they gave us compliments. They were lucky because it was hot. You know? Right. And the races, remember 2015, the races, for a year I asked them, are you going to have races on Friday? Because that's when they have the races, or was it Saturday? It was Saturday night races. Are you gonna have Saturday night races? Every time the answer was no. No. You know why it was no? Because they had Sunday races. Right? So around turn number 1, dirt flying. So chaos. We expected. We are Gumby. For younger people, you can very flexible, right? Flexible. And changes happen and come up, and the wonderful volunteers that we have made it happen. In 2017, personally, I think we knocked it out of the park. We had snow cones. Did we not? And ice cones. Ice cones, what are they called? Icy.
Right.
But it was wonderful. It was a wonderful, wonderful event. To me, I think that was the best one, to be honest with you. They're all wonderful. And they all have their stories and everything. And in 2019, unfortunately, in 2021, we couldn't do it because of COVID. And so we invented a new event. Called it Stand Up. But we still served. That was the purpose of it. We were not going to back down, give up, say, no, can't do it today. Too bad it's raining. Right? No, we were going to serve, and we served our community, and we were able to serve 179 veterans. An event that was just created. So I'm super duper excited about the different changes that we're going to have at Stand Down. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be off the chart, off the chart. One of the things that is very important to us this time around, though, is that we account for our hours. Right? So as we're out and we're attending this meeting, we want to keep track of the planning hours and the event hours that go in. So we ask everybody to download the DAV California app on their phone. And if you don't have it, if you got this flyer right here in the email, which you all did, you should have a QR code at the bottom. Just go ahead and scan it, and then you're going to log it in. And then when you log in your hours, you're going to put your name. It's going to ask you for what chapter you want. Give the hours to. The local chapter here is chapter 154. 154. 1 and 5 is 6 and 4 is 10. 154. Screwed everybody's brain up on that one. But 154, chapter 154. Then it asks you what's the name of the event. The name of the event is Stand Down on the Delta 2023. Either it's a planning meeting or you're recruiting, right? And then the services provided would be a direct aid to veterans, because the event itself is direct aid to veterans. Well, why do we want to do that? We want to be able to do that, one, for grants, but also we want to be able to show the community how many hours went into planning this event, which I imagine is thousands of hours. It's not just me and Pat, doing, hey, yay. No, it's the whole community. And we want to be able to show that this year. So it is very important, if you can, download that DAV California app. DAV California is one of our sponsors, as you know, as well. So they're going to be working with us on that and be able to track our hours for us. Also in the flyer that you got, it says, please make a donation to DVG to support Stand Down Delta. If you feel that you can make that donation, then certainly we have to raise about $125,000 from now until September, right? It's a lot of before. Yeah, we got a little bit in the kitty, just
A little before September.
yeah, a little bit before.
Because we're going to be spending it before September.
But it's a big event and it costs money, right? And so we reach out to the different organizations and we ask for donations. You'll be surprised though, a lot of that $125,000 that we raise is small donors. That $2,500, $150, it starts coming in. So neighbors, your friends, whatever you can be given, we ask that they can join us in this event and be able to make it possible for us. All right. In the meetings that are coming up in the future here, our stand down meetings will always be on the second Tuesday of every month, except for
February, March.
February and March. Because February, the second Tuesday in February is Valentine's Day. And if you value your relationship like I value mine,
Come on, I'll make cookies.
right. Bill saying he'll make heart-shaped cookies if everybody shows up. So we're
Every day should be Valentine's Day. What you talking about?
Yeah. I tell my wife that every day. I expect gifts all the time. Never get nothing. But no, we're looking for that. And then March, the second Tuesday is right around St. Patty's Day. And I don't think anybody, most.
We start early. Us Irish
Yeah,
people start
that's
early.
kind of what I'm getting at. Green beer and stuff like that. So March 7th will be our meeting. So the next two meetings are the first Tuesdays of the month. The link that you have that is given for the Zoom meetings, that link will be good for all the meetings. And then we have April 11th, May 9th, and then all those meetings will be here at the Antioch, it's called the Antioch American Legion. I've been calling it the Antioch Veterans Memorial Building. It's kind of wordy, right? Is that all right? I got the American Legion past state commander here. Is that all right? Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. We want to thank Audrey for letting us use this building as well. And then in June, we start having meetings at the fairgrounds. Our June 13th meeting is a walkthrough at the fairgrounds, and we'll be going from where the veterans depart the buses to where they check in, security, where they get everything, and walk through all of that process to really show you what to kind of expect there. And July 11th and the August 8th meetings will also be at the fairgrounds. We won't be doing a walkthrough unless it's been one has been requested, but we will be at the fairgrounds. And normally those meetings are the final adjustments, kind of where, this is my area, how many square footage do I have? Where do I bring my vehicle in? And those kinds of little questions like that. And then on August 22nd, we do a walkthrough for the medical. And then August 29th, we do a walkthrough for services. So we have all the meetings are outlined, and then we have the agendas for each of those meetings already listed. Yes, Paul. Oh, the meetings will still be at open meetings will still be at 6:30. Coordinators meetings will still be at 5:30. We have our meeting. Coordinators meeting. Yes. So the meetings at the fairgrounds will be in the big red barn. Is that correct?
The classroom right next to the big red barn.
Yeah.
At the front, there's the administrative. You come in the main entrance where the big World War I memorial is. Off to the right, you'll see the big red barn. Right attached to it is the classrooms, and that's where we'll have the coordinators meetings. If we're doing a walkthrough, you're going to go all the way to the back. So you're not going to come in the main entrance. You're going to come in the O Street entrance, which is right next to the little creek that runs down there. So you'll turn in there, go across the little bridge, drive all the way to the back, and then come across to another bridge back into the fairgrounds. No, that's for the walkthroughs.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you don't go that far in.
Yes.
You don't go that far in.
Ruben, you would be going through the red gates. Okay. So, no, we want to go, before we go, right as soon as you hit to the memorial.
You
the
turn
gates
right.
are red. The main fairgrounds office. All right. At our next meetings, virtually, we'll have breakout rooms. Normally during the stand-down meetings, what we do is we go around, we introduce everybody and all that, and then the coordinators break out into different areas into the room and talk with their team about different announcements and stuff that we talked about in the coordinator meeting. So for the next meetings, the people that are attending virtually will be able to attend the meeting, but also be able to attend with the breakout meetings. So if you are not a coordinator, then you need to get with the coordinators, and we will list the coordinators on the website. That will be done within the next 10 days. Okay, and if you're a coordinator, wouldn't it be nice to be able to have your picture there and then be able to know who you are? You have a picture of me. If you're like me, I break most cameras and I don't like taking pictures or whatever, but we would like to be able to put a picture, coordinator, and then their email, and then the person will be able to link on the email, send an email, say, hey, I'd like to be part of this team, da, 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 da. And then they would attend the meetings, and then they show up on a board. Okay. And so today's meeting is roughly a small kind of meeting, because that's how our first meetings always is. As you will see, these meetings will grow and grow and grow. We're going to have a microphone, because this little speaker right here won't be able to pass it around. But by the April meeting, we generally have about 60 people attending. So I'm looking forward to that. It's been a while to be able to converse with that many people and talk about different things, and everybody be focused on one mission. So it's gonna be exciting, but please, again, download the DAV California app so we can keep track of your hours. And realistically, if you're out serving a veteran, helping a veteran or something like that, you want to keep track of your hours, because not only do I keep track of that, but also the DAV does. You do not have to be a member of the DAV to get credit for a volunteer hour. You'll be recognized by the Disabled American Veterans as well. And I know everybody here doesn't do it for the recognition, but sometimes it's nice to have a thank you. You know? So I'm going to go ahead and open it to anybody for open discussion. Everybody online, we can hear you very well. So if you want to just go ahead and speak, we can speak. Did we introduce everybody online too? I don't think we did. My sister from another mother, Miss Velma. Would you introduce yourself? Her head's not moving. All right, Sandra, can you introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, my name is Sandra White. I will be representing the mental health area of Stand Down on the Delta. I believe this will be my second or third year as coordinator.
I think third. I think we brought you in 2017, I think. And Stephen.
Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, Velma, you're on. There you go. Go ahead, introduce yourself, Velma.
Hi, Velma Wilson. Affectionately, my brother from another is J.R. Wilson. Just love community. Been doing this work for a very long time. I am a proud daughter of a Vietnam era vet, served in the U.S. Army. My twin sister served in the U.S. Navy for Desert Storm. And my oldest son, he served in the U.S. Air Force during Iraqi freedom. And so yes, veterans run deep. As you see in my background, very, very passionate about the work of the PTA, because PTA brings us all together. So I serve our youth and do a lot in our schools. And yeah, I'm just always proud of the work that Delta Veterans Group does continuously to serve and to pay tribute to those that have actually served this country faithfully.
Thank you, Ms. Velma. She sits on our board as well. So we have Sue Higgins still online. Sue,
Yep, I'm still here.
my favorite mayor.
I've been hanging out with the Delta Veterans Group since the first one in 2015, and I'm back again to work with Pat Jeremy and his son Tim and JR and Nancy Gales, and we'll get this medical all straightened out.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. And Sue has helped us get veterans only parking throughout Oakley when she sat on the city council and mayor. So we appreciate that, Sue. And then David Boatwright. Super Dave. Going once, going twice. All right, we got Stephen Crank.
There we go.
Here we go, Dave. Good. Super Dave.
Wow, proud veteran myself, 101st Airborne Army. Been serving with Stand Down since it first started. Actually met JR in 2014 at the East Bay Stand Down. He was my tent leader, and suggested that I join him in the next stand down. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. He told me it was going to be stand down on the Delta. We had a little discussion on the way to the hospital to visit my mom. And I'm like, well, you know what? If it's going to be on the Delta, we got to go fishing. And I'm so proud and so glad to see that we've been fishing ever since. You know, in that service that we do, we give something very special back to those veterans. Because I know how special it is to me to be able to sit by the water and just fish. But when I couldn't fish, I wanted to. The veterans group here, Delta Veterans Group and the Stand Down gave me an opportunity to do that and bring it to others. So I'm sold out, I'm with it, and I'm going to stay with it for the rest of the ride.
And you might recognize David's voice as David narrates our Stand Down on the Delta video. So when you hear that's not a train at the tunnel coming at you, that's David talking. All right, we got Stephen Crank.
Well, my name is Steve Crank, and I am a follower of JR. And I've been involved with the stand down from the beginning, but not actively during each of the stand downs. I actually come from an all military family. And I will be acting as the liaison for all 29 branches of St. Vincent de Paul and some of the programs that we have. So that's what I hope to leverage for the stand down this year.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. That is absolutely, yes. Yes. And I want to give Steve some crank, or Stephen Crank. How am I going to give him some crank? I'm sorry, Steve. I'm totally sorry. Stephen Crank, I'm going to give him.
It's not the first time it's come up.
I am from Antioch. Stephen Crank has been absolutely awesome with DVG going back to 2013. Obviously, we have a lot of stuff to store and different things like that. Our containers, our first two 20-foot containers, Stephen Crank facilitated that, which helped us out a lot, absolutely a lot. And then when we needed more storage, Stephen worked out a deal for us to trade our 20-footers in for 2 40-footers. So we doubled our storage. That's the kind of love and passion. And he didn't ask for anything in return, nothing. And I never forgot that. Never, ever, ever, ever would I ever forget that. So Steve, from the bottom of my heart, I love you, brother. And thank you for everything that you do in our community, and the services that you provide out there at St. Vincent de Paul is absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anybody online that we have missed? I think we have somebody else there, Nancy, Gales.
Hey, JR. Steven's here too. Steven, the other Steven Griswold.
Oh, Steve. There you go.
Hey, yeah. Sorry, I don't know if it didn't pop up. My Zoom's been giving me problems, but I think I know most everybody that's here. For those of you who don't know, my name's Steven. I am a Air Force veteran, lifetime DAV member. Was there for both the 2015 and 2017 iteration. I was a service provider. I worked for Congressman Jerry McNerney at the time, and so I was there providing casework services for veterans. Now I'm with the Office of Supervisor Burgess over at the county, and don't know exactly where I'm going to plug in this time, but happy to help anywhere, everywhere, whatever you guys need. So glad to be here.
Okay.
Stephen, we want you everywhere and anywhere. Absolutely, absolutely awesome. No, it's been, let me give Steve some what
Back
is
to
it?
the crank again, huh?
I don't know.
See that crank alone, man.
Right? Everybody must be skinny and nobody sleeps. All right, but Steve and Stephen has been part of the connection with DVG for a long time, going back probably 8 years in services that he provided at Congressman McNerney's office, helping veterans work through all kinds of different situations, congressional inquiries, different things like that. So and then we were very honored to watch Stephen go into the military and followed his whole career with the Air Force and raising a family, and he's doing absolutely wonderful things. Stephen, I'd like to invite you to the Disabled American Veterans Chapter meeting on the 28th at 10 a.m. as well. Love to have you. We'd love to have you there as well. Is there anybody else online that we missed? I have to apologize. I'm getting old, and even wearing these glasses, I can't see so far. But I think we got everybody.
7 people.
Yeah. Right on. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open it up. Anybody have anything to say, anything like that at all? Audrey? All right. So
I can talk about volunteers when it's going to start.
oh yeah, we could do that. Volunteer, the link for the volunteer registration will be online in April, and that'll be through the I Volunteerly that we always use. And Vanessa Perry will be our coordinator on that as well. And an email will go out to everybody with that link. And but every once in a while, go to deltaveteransgroup.org. We'll post it on there, and then we'll post it on social media. And then the next month in May is when we open up veteran registration. And that's when the packets go out to all the VA medical facilities in the Bay Area, the 9 counties, and then also to the local shelters. And again, we probably get about 650 registrations. And out of that 650, how many show up?
About 50%.
50%. So that's what we're looking for. And in July, we'll probably have 200 people signed up. And we'll all be freaking out. But guess what happens? In August, they all sign up, right? And so we look forward to a wonderful event. Unfortunately, this stand down is needed very much in our community as the economy and other things have, situations that happen. The goal of this really is to not have a stand down, not have a meeting, to have a stand down. We want to go out of business, right? So I say unfortunate, but we're going to knock it out of the park. So volunteer registrations in April, participant registrations in May, and the schedule for the meetings are here every second Tuesday except for February and March. That's a good question, right? Because people always ask, how do you know they're veterans? The registration is done at the VA facilities. So that's one, they do their due diligence. And then at the shelters, part of their questions and stuff is they have to verify that veteran has, for example, Shelter Inc., which, is for the SSVF, they got to verify that veteran is a veteran. So a lot of that status is verified by the VA or the shelters for us already. And they've been participating in stand down. So the shelters know exactly what we want. In that registration, they also sign up for court, right? And then we separate or segregate that part of that application and we get that to Autry. When Autry starts preparing the dockets and all that stuff for us. And then we also segregate if they have a pet, right? We want to get that into cart. If there's certain services that are unique, we want to get that to certain coordinators so they know. If we have somebody that is 7.5 feet tall and has a boot size of a 28, I got to know that. I'm the one that's ordering the DoD surplus, right? If we have females that have very tiny feet, I kind of want to know that. My orders for boots start from size 4 and go all the way up usually to size 15, 16. Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we put that in there.
And what I'm looking there though is for odd sizes. I mean, if they're 32, 30, 34, 32, that doesn't, what I'm looking for is odd sizes. Because we're going to get tons of the normal sizes, right? But I need to know how many odd sizes. Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
That's what we asked.
Yes. I look at my own child. My dad forced me to little tiny shoes. And my toes are like this. I don't want that to be nobody, right? So we do that. Our women veterans, or the women that attend, they get fresh flowers. They get fresh flowers from the florist that I bought my roses from when I was a little kid. They get to go roller skating in the ring that I learned how to roller skate in.
Well, that may not happen. They got plenty.
Was it? Yes, yes, we get socks from them. Yes, the bone mass. We get socks from them. Yes, we get socks. Yes, yes. We get that stuff. It's pretty cool. When you see the commercials, it's true. It's true. Is we'll get like 4 boxes, big boxes from them, and they just appear. Yeah, they just appear. All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Registration.
It does. It absolutely does. Because that's the thing that we also want to know. We have really like 4 different areas. We have the men's encampment, then we have the dependents, and then we have the women veterans, and then we have the family makeup. And so sometimes, you know, if we have a single man and he brings a 11-year-old daughter, right? Something like that, then we're going to provide them a family tent. So they get to stay together in a family. We're not going to separate them, right? Or if they have a little toddler or something, we're going to keep that family together. So there's no anxiety, separation. Now, if they're a regular couple, then guess what? The female doesn't get to go into the men's encampment, right? And we're not going to have a bunch of little bungalows. So there's going to be some separation for a little bit.
We'll know that by the age. We kind of rough that out by the age.
And we'll send people to Walmart and different things like that. Those things happen at stand down. There's things that we have to go out to the store to get. Smoking, for example, people bring packs of cigarettes and then they smoke them, 8 packs in the first night. And then we provide tobacco in a bag and rolling papers for them. But we're not going to go out and buy a carton of Marlboro cigarettes. No. There's and then each tent is going to have a quartermaster, right? And that quartermaster maintains that tobacco. Hopefully, it's not the weakest person in the tent. So they get beat up for the tobacco, right? But we start building that within their tent, that belonging to that tent. And so by Saturday's dinner, they're marching up to dinner. It was crazy. They come out all straggling and, we come all nice and pretty looking. And by the end of it, it's flipped, right? That's how it works. They're revitalized and got all their fluids going and everything like that. And we're like, oh, but hey, if you were here in 2015, you knew what real dying meant, because it took us like 3 weeks for teardown. We had 4 people. All right, that's a little bit different now. Thank you for those that are still alive, still here. All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll cut the meeting somewhat short. Just know that the future meetings are going to be 90 minutes long, and we have those breakout rooms and different things like that to go over. Yes, you can invite people to the meetings. You can. You can invite, don't let somebody say, well, hey, I have kids, I can't go to the meeting. Because I don't know running around. And we'll get comic books or comic books. Like 800 years old.
She'll make those?
Graphic novels.
Yeah. We'll get some stuff. It's gonna be out right there.
Coloring books, maybe. Comic books, we don't think they make no much.
But I know everything's streaming now. They got movies and comic books. But it's like but no, I don't mind. We don't mind if kids are in, because it's family. We want to build a family. Stand Down on the Delta becomes a family. And our participants become our brothers and our sisters, and our volunteers become our family as well. And you will find that at this Stand Down, you will have a story. A story will come out. A miracle will happen at Stand Down. 2015, we had a miracle with Gable, did we not? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a man that was a veteran, got jumped, severe head wounds, different things like that, lost his family. He was enrolled in school to be a lawyer. Lost everything. Lived on the streets for a while. Found out about Stand Down on the Delta, and we said, hey, you can bring your pet. That's the only thing that brought him to Stand Down, was his pet. Because pets have unconditional love, right? And so to separate that, why would you do that? He was afraid of that. And he said, no. At Stand Down Delta, we're not going to separate. You're going to have your pet with you. And it's airy, right? And you have access. So he came. He got to be able to touch people. It saved his life. You'll be the first person to tell you that. He was suicidal. He was on the rocks. The only reason, because somebody said yes to his pet. That's all it took to be able to touch that veteran. And then he came back and volunteered, and he's part of different things. That's just one story. It's just one of them. That happens all the time at Stand Down, all the time. And you will find it. You will find it. You will find participants that this will be their first year volunteering. They will be in tears. They will be in tears because of the freedom that it gave them to be a volunteer. It will be an emotional time for them. It's an emotional time for us. But that's because we become a family. That's how we become a family. And we support them, and they come back and they volunteer. And then when they volunteer, it's like, wow, it's their realization of what it was about. They serve their country, now they serve their community, and they get it. And they get it, and the blessings are coming to them. Because service before oneself means something. We have the ability, because we're firm in our foundation, to be able to serve our community, and we do it, and we're showing them and having them do that with us. So that, to me, you're part of my family. All right. Yes. Well, we're gonna. I thought this. Right? I know. So everybody has a cell phone. Everybody can log on to cell phones. Okay. And then we have to worry about the back feed, and we have to work through that. Right?
What was your idea?
Can't hear you.
That'll be their breakout.
Yeah.
So they'll be taking their device to their breakout. And then they'll be able to be the host in their breakout room to be able to let people into their breakout. You'll be other monitoring them. And then you'll jump into the chats and say, hey, time's up. Everything I just said, I don't know how to do. Just being honest. So that's the reason why we're gonna have to work to get that to that next month. So I know it can be done. I participated in those, so I know it can be done. All right. Anybody else? I know. I was kind of surprised you're not wearing your DVD shirt because Mike should have got you. That's Dixon. That's Dixon's. But I did send it to my guy, and I know he took care of you. I got your size. Yes, you're my favorite. Don't worry about it. I think it is. All right, so if we don't have anything else, then yes.
Getting our, our feet wet, got it. So it's kudos to the folks that over 100 pieces of that and a bunch of pros.
Yep.
And so I just.
There were all kinds of things. Yeah, it was awesome. And if you don't know, Darlene was the entertainment coordinator for other stand-downs too. So she was like working double time every year doing 2 stand-downs at the same time. That's what I was doing. I wasn't just looking around, I was recruiting. Like you already know how to do it. So, and she did it very, really good. It's absolutely wonderful. And that was way back like 2013, 14, something like that. A long time ago. You still look like you're 32. All right. So if we don't have anything else.
I just have one thing. We don't forget on the 18th and 19th of February, there's the dental commission and resource. And we've already got 10 appointments for vision and 5 for dental. And the flyer's only been out 2 days.
Nice. And if you can get the flyer that is on there on the table, and then the flyer was sent in your emails as well. I'll get you guys one as well. But we want to use the flyer that has the DAV logo on it as well, since they are doing the Veterans Information Seminar as well. And so it's one big event, but that's kind of really the key. The veterans serving their country, the veterans serving their community.
It's open to the public.
It's open to the public. You do not have to be a veteran to get services there. The agent open to the public, but for dental and vision, they got to pre-register for their slot.
There's information on there to.
So should we just go ahead and solidify the date for Sunday for fishing, because services
Yes.
are happening for,
Yep.
yeah, just so that they
Yeah.
don't miss that opportunity.
Sunday, we do the fishing. Sunday, we bring in the horses, equine therapy. They're going to be here as well. I already got the email back from them. They look forward to participating. So we'll have the horses there, fishing. Hopefully we get the roller skating ring fixed.
Okay. So let's link up with, we're gonna look with you and Jim and figure out the timing and all of that. I know I think the last, when we got canceled, it was like 9/11. A ceremony on the Monday. I'm guessing, which is why. it
So the
is-
opening ceremony will be on Friday, right? And then we do a VIP kind of tour on Saturday.
Okay,
But it's not a ceremony, it's just like around the elected officials.
I think I called it the wrong thing, sorry. I think it was like a special something you're doing for the 9/11.
Yes.
Right, for that 9/11, we were doing something
Okay.
special like that.
Yeah, it was the 20th anniversary.
Okay, that's.
We
And
always
you're
try-
still planning on having that down at where we had the other event?
Yeah, I think so. The park suit there is a veteran himself. He's on another tour now, so he definitely. Love us.
I'm not allowed to pound any stakes into the grass anymore. Right?
No, no, you can't do that. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's the only thing.
I
was like-
No,
No, I didn't. I
no.
I was hard as heck to get it out there.
No. I was special myself and would love to be there. I enjoyed it there too.
Yeah, I
So,
think it's-
yeah, we'll put on five and we'll get it
How
going.
many veterans did you report? 41.
Well, no, we served 56 people that day,
Oh,
but 41. And then I think. We'll fix up with him so we can estimate just with how you're saying the influx of everything with rising costs.
Yeah.
We have a little bit more money to play with this year, but we'll see if we can develop, 40 to 50 or how many people we can do. We can
Right.
get more.
Based on how many we get down.
Okay, so yeah, that's the other part. right?
Transportation.
Yeah, we can talk about that and see what y'all.
It's been an awesome event. And for the fishing event in September, we were able to get 40 from West County, or 10 from West County, 10 from Central, 10 from local, and then David, 10 from like the Stockton area.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so we were able to get kind of a wide spectrum of participants. County and beyond.
And you worked with, Elon as well.
Yes, Dita, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought up their veterans from,
It was a great.
right, that conversation was in a Burger King parking lot. And then it worked out wonderful. So, yes.
Or. Or chiropractic. Probably have. That kind of
And
stuff.
the legal massage.
Maybe we can do electronic first. Around some of our staff, and other people, see if anyone wants to volunteer, you're looking for more volunteers.
Always looking
Right?
for volunteers,
I-
especially for set up and tear down.
I bet,
Everybody wants to volunteer for the event itself,
I'm sure.
but
But
we need.
yes,
a
it
lot
says
for
set
the
up
setup.
and tear
I'll check
down.
it out.
Make sure they know those dates as well. And then, like I said before, invite people to the open meetings. We want people to be at the open meetings. They go talk to people and it spreads and it'll be.
The bigger the crowd, the
I have all the dates on this flyer right. Right, and then. That's
about chiropractors and massage therapists. Don't be afraid to ask. Red light.
Yes, notice he said stylist or barber. Right?
JR goes to the stylist, I go to the barber.
Yeah. Right, so, you're one. I think he does a good job. So I've been saying, so if there's nothing else, and everybody jumps in, so I'm gonna go say it one more time, and if somebody jumps in. So if there's nothing else, anybody online have anything else?
I'm just grateful to be part of this, Chair.
We are grateful to have you as well.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
All right, then we'll say goodnight. We'll say, first time, say goodnight. We'll say
Good
Toodaloo,
night.
toodaloo, chow,
night.
pit, pit.
Good night, everyone.
Till we meet again. Sandra, call me.
What was that, Belmont? Okay, if I can get a little bit of help, these work tables surrounding that little table. It's fine.